This is the story of the cold, cold night and the lovely day that followed it. We had camped at the campground just north of Grand Canyon, and we knew it was going to be a cold night, so we snuggled down into our sleeping bags. But it got too cold, and we decided, okay, we're going to get up and go to a hotel. We ended up driving 71 miles back to Kanab through the high prairie that we had just driven down to that day. There was one hotel and one gas station on that 71 miles, and they were both closed. So we spent the night at a nice La Quinta hotel room in Kanab, and the next day we got up and went to the hardware store and bought a heater to use in the van at night. After we bought our heater, we had delicious burgers and fries at Big Al's Burgers, and then we went over to do our laundry. Well, when you do laundry, you have a lot of time standing around, and you meet really interesting people sometimes. We met a young lady named Arden who does wilderness therapy with young people, and we did an interview with her, so that will be our next video. From there, we headed over to Bryce Canyon, and along the way, we met a couple of interesting characters. This American Gothic couple, Updated, and also Betty Boop. Let's do a drive through Dixie National Forest, Red Canyon.
Here we go.
We made a reservation at a campground and then continued on down to Bryce Canyon. We finally got our sunset view. This is one of many we've taken. Got here to Bryce Canyon just in time. Now this is Creamsicle Castle. See, the sun is setting, so we've got some shadow and some sun. But you can see the shadowed parts better here than you could where we were before. There's a peak way in the distance. Bryce Canyon is enormous, and this is just a small part of it. The sun is lighting up this little medieval castle garden, watched over by a limber pine. We definitely wanted to come back in the morning, but first we had to go back to our beautiful campsite in Dixie National Forest for the night, knowing we had our new little buddy heater to keep us warm.
This is Bonnie dressed in layers.
It's 31 degrees here at Sunrise Point. We just saw the sunrise. I dressed in layers. First my hoodie, then my windbreaker, then my flannel shirt, and then my t-shirt. See, I'm Superman underneath. And I needed them all.
Obviously, I did not layer as Bonnie did because I did get cold. But I had my new Mr. Buddy that was keeping me warm. My feet were pretty cold, but it's on medium right now, and the heater does a wonderful job of warming up the van.
We have so upgraded. We don't even need to get the camp stove out in the cold anymore. We can make eggs. We can use the little waffler to make toast. We can use the pot there to heat our water for coffee. And we can even heat our cups on the Buddy warmer. This is luxury living. And everything's in arm's reach. You can do it all while sitting down. And here's our toast. So hold it down, leave it for a couple minutes. And a couple minutes later, ta-da! Really good toasty toast with butter on both sides.
Nicely toasted. And I'm going to take my egg that I warmed up, that I'd already hard boiled.
You'd hard boiled them in the
Yeah.
pot before.
I'm going to spread it on there like that. And then I'm going to take a little mayo and just spread it a little bit on top, because hard-boiled eggs are so hard. You know what I'm saying? Dry. So this will moisten it up.
Like 2 tablespoons of butter didn't.
Right, exactly. Just like that. So, hear that crunch. You take this, and you take this, and what do you got?
A great breakfast.
Great breakfast. By the way, you say, boy, that's really fattening. I don't know.
You're still losing weight.
I'm still losing weight. My weight today, for anybody who's interested, 175.4. I don't know why. Mom's losing too. So I think it's because of the way we're eating. We're not really eating that much every day.
We're too busy doing other things.
Well, yeah. So this is my masterpiece for today. Baby, let me tell you, don't kill the chicken. Just take her eggs.
After breakfast, we continued our drive along Bryce Canyon. The weather got warm, but never warm enough to take our jackets off. The amazing immensity of these canyons is just unbelievable. And in the right light, the hoodoos almost look translucent. We looked at people hiking down at the bottom of the canyon, but we didn't actually go down there ourselves.
Flat, of course, accompanied us on this little tour, and he wanted to get real close, so we had to be careful setting him on that tree. But he enjoyed the view.
Art isn't really a narwhal. He's just enjoying the view. It's interesting that you're driving along the flat canyon top, but you are at 8,000 feet, which is 3,000 feet higher than the mountaintops that we have in Tennessee. We also saw Queen Victoria's garden. You can see her standing there on her pedestal overlooking it, and this beautiful arch toward the end of the trail. We also came across a ranger giving a talk about the different layers of the Grand Staircase, of which all of these canyon parks are a part, and it accounts for the great variation that we see as we go from place to place. We do a panorama.
Panorama.
All the way around. There we are. There. Around to here. Practically 360. This is the inspiration point. 8,300 feet. As we headed back along the 18-mile road, we reflected back on what we had seen that day. How that the canyon walls or fins eroded to be windows and arches, and then eroded farther to become the hoodoos that Your imagination can turn into any number of different shapes. Does this look like a mama bear with her 3 cubs? What do you see in this photo? Your imagination is the only limit. We were thankful to have seen this amazing place.